Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. I haven't done an introduction in a while, but if you are new, just wanted to introduce myself again. I'm Sarah, and I live in Western Michigan with my husband and our 2 dogs and 2 ducks. So just to give you a little bit of a background on us, we recently moved to the country, and that is a new learning experience for us, so it's exciting. But yeah, just want to kind of introduce myself to you guys again, especially if you're new. But we'll go into, for shop update, there's not really anything new in the shop at the moment. Tomorrow I am hoping to do some dyeing. As I stated in previous videos, I had some car issues, so my Fridays with dyeing have been a little bit tricky, but tomorrow hopefully I'll be able to do some more of that. I usually, because I currently have Fridays off from my full-time job, I'm trying to work more with Multifarious Nature on Fridays when I'm able, which has been tricky lately, like I said, but I'm hoping I can get more in tomorrow, so that's very exciting. And yeah, as far as like the latest items that are new in the shop, I do just have brand new colorways that were listed this past weekend on Saturday. Then I do still have some in the shop. I have a sock set. It's, let's see here, we have actually a sock set and a colorway. So I'll start with the sock set. So Come Thou Fount is the sock set. It is so pretty. It's a very soft neutral pink colorway, and there's speckling throughout. And then it comes with this almost brown pink color as a complementing color. And just have a couple of very few sets of this. This is a one-of-a-kind set, so I used some stock solution colors that I had, and so I will not be able to reproduce this, so once they're gone, they're gone. But these make excellent gift sets. If you know someone who likes to knit socks, you can totally knit other things with it as well, but it's really fun that it comes with everything that you need to make a really cute pair of socks. So they're really fun. Like I said, there's lots of fun speckling throughout. Really, really beautiful. And then the other colorway, you can kind of see it a little bit better. It gets so blasted out because it's really dark here right now because we're very overcast. So I have my light on. It tends to blast things out. And then Unchained Melody is the other colorway that I have in the shop. This I can dye more up if you need, but currently I do have a good sweaters quantity of this in the shop. So if you're looking to make a super fun sweater, anything like that, or gosh, you could really make anything with this. This is on my 100% Peruvian Highland wool base. I can definitely dye it on other bases, but that's what it is currently dyed up on if you want it like ASAP. There's really fun, soft, lilac-y colors throughout, and this really fun, like bright, like fuchsia pink color, and definitely lots of speckles. Beautiful variegation with the browns and darker browns, and I just absolutely love it. And it is inspired, of course, by, well, I'm going to say specifically Elvis's rendition of Unchained Melody is such a beautiful, beautiful, actually rather heart-wrenching song, and it's gorgeous. So yeah, if you haven't ever seen Elvis Presley's performance of Unchained Melody, it's pretty powerful, so I do recommend it. All right, and then we're going to get into our works in progress. So, well, actually, before I get to works in progress, maybe I'll just talk about my little sweater in case you haven't seen this one and you're thinking to yourself, gosh, what sweater is that? So yes, I did make this sweater. It is Melody Hoffman's pattern, and I'm pretty sure this is the Wild Posy, no, not the Wild Posy sweater. Not Wild Posy sweater. I should tell you what the actual name of it is. Oh darn, isn't that terrible? It just escapes me. I'll look it up. And I'll definitely include it in the notes below, but it is for sure Melody Hoffman's pattern. I don't think it's the Wild Posy. Oh, it's Wildflower Path. Wildflower Path. I'm pretty positive. If that's not it, it's like something very similar to that. This is probably one of my most worn sweaters that I've made. I made it out of Plutolopi, which is Icelandic unspun wool. You can find it pretty regularly in the States, and I know you can find it elsewhere too, but it's Icelandic wool. It is definitely on the more rustic side. You can see there's a beautiful halo, but I can wear it. I'm wearing a t-shirt under it, so my arms are exposed. My most sensitive areas are my chest and neck region. That's usually where I get itchy. I can wear this next to skin, but depending on a lot of things, sometimes it can tickle a little bit. I can very comfortably wear this though. I wore this to work today, and I wear it to work a lot. I love the sweater. As I said, I feel it, I've worn the living daylights out of it. I love the length of the sleeves, comes right to my wrist. I did actually do it the length that she recommended, and it has a beautiful tubular bind off, which, sorry about the table. If you're not familiar with tubular bind offs, it gives you the super smooth transition of stitches around the edge, and it looks so nice. It really does add a nice professional touch. I really like it. And I also did, see if I can get up here so you guys can see. I'm sitting on the floor, of course. Yeah, you can kind of see the bottom here. This is also a tubular bind off. Has this beautiful ribbing. I think I made it just a hair longer than her pattern called for, but because I like to use up, as I've stated, like every ounce as if I possibly can. And this one, I used almost every single ounce. I had like this itty bitty teeny weeny amount left because I did all of this embroidery. It's kind of hard to see, but there is embroidery on, they're like these little flowers that you just kind of put throughout, and it goes across the chest as well. And you actually can put them on the back too. But I ran out of yarn. I ran out of it, which actually works out great because, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell the front from the back of your sweater. Well, my flowers are on the front, so I always know what the front is of the sweater, which is awesome. And like I said, I love the sweater. I wear it all the time. It's so cozy, warm, and comfy. And I want to make another one. I definitely do want to make another one. There are very few patterns that I replicate, but this is definitely one I'd like to replicate. And it was such a joy to make, and it went pretty quick. I want to say I made it in about a month. If I'm remembering correctly, it was very quick because it's a very wide, very large gauge, and you're holding the Plutolopi double. And I'm going to, when I remake it, I'm pretty positive I'm going to either make it with Plutolopi again. I'd have to buy Plutolopi though, and I'm trying to go through what I have stashed away here already, and I have Nutiden, which is similar in the sense that it is an unspun, but it is super soft and definitely a little more delicate because the fibers are a little bit shorter, where Icelandic wool is very long, staple length, and makes it very durable, and it doesn't break as often when you're knitting. Where Plutolopi, I did find I broke that quite a bit, or Plutolopi, Nutiden, I broke that a bit more when I was knitting with it, just because it is a little bit more on the delicate side. But yeah, I have two colors. Is Vajenhem. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Swedish. So Vajenhem, and I'm looking at them. Lucra, I think, is the other colorway. It's like a really dark chocolatey brown color. It's really beautiful. So I'm definitely thinking I would make it in the Lucra if I'm going to do it, because I want to have like a darker version, because the other one, Vajen Hem, is kind of similar. It's that kind of a soft oatmeal color. So yeah, I don't know if I would make that. I mean, it would show the texture really well, where I feel like with Lucra it might get lost, but I don't know. But I feel like I will make it in the Nutiden. I think I will. Anyway, I've just meandered on about what I wore. Oh my gosh. WIPS. Let's talk about WIPS. I hope you guys are still with me. Sorry. I get on tangents sometimes. I'm sure we all do, right? Okay. First, I worked on like a lot of stuff, you guys. But only a little bit on some of them. But I did still work on them, so I'm going to talk about them, because I think it still counts. So we will start with my very exciting Big Cozy Cardi, which is using some of Multifarious Nature's yarn, which is dyed by me. Ooh, here we go. I'm definitely mid-row. That's just the way it goes, you guys. Most of these patterns are mid-row, but can you blame me? I mean, there's well over 300 stitches on this, so there you go. This is the Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. It's one of her new patterns, and I have to tell you guys, this is so funny. I thought for sure I would be sick and tired. Sick and tired, because I mean, I'm gonna have to knit the entire body of this cardigan in one big rectangle. That's what I'm doing, which is a substantial amount of, like, a pattern that seems pretty basic. Once you do it, you'll know what I mean. But let's see. Okay, this is the right side. So it's right now, it's just kind of confusing because it looks like it's in the round, but it's actually just a massive rectangle. You guys, I've gotten further. So this is my second time knitting this because I had made it about this far and then I completely ripped it back because I totally screwed up the pattern. It's not a hard one to screw up, and yet I did. It's called follow directions, but I was one stitch off, and that's what happens. But this is using my chestnut colorway, which I can definitely dye up some. I do not have any currently in the shop, but if you want some chestnut, definitely contact me. You can either contact me through here, definitely contact me through my website. I have a contact me at multifariousnature.com, and contact me there. That's awesome too, and that's actually probably better if you do that. I see my emails a lot more often than I see messages through YouTube. But you can see it's got kind of this warm, almost caramely orange undertone to it, and it's just, I love it so much. I love this color. I love it. So I'm so excited about this thing. I have to tell you, I've been working on this like every day on my lunch break. I've been working on this, and it is so joyous, absolutely blissful, and so much fun because I've been working on it. The last couple days it's been sunny. It's actually been sunny out, and I kid you not. So Grand Rapids is north of where I live, and I think in December we got like 0.5 per, like, I can't remember what it was, but it was a ridiculous amount of sunlight, like nothing, absolutely nothing. So it's no wonder. But the past couple days we've had sun during my lunch break, so it's so cozy. I like to knit out in my car. So yeah, I was sitting out there, and this color, it doesn't do it justice with this lighting because this lighting is blasting it out to no end, but there is a sheen. This is on my 100% Peruvian Highland wool base. It is so wonderful. It's one of my favorite bases. It's squishy, and look at this bounce, like beautiful stretch and bounce, and it has beautiful drape. It has everything. It'll keep you nice and cozy warm, and it has great stitch definition. So if you do fun patterns like this or cable work, I highly recommend this base for that. I did Hohi, if you're not familiar. If you go back to previous videos, I have a video from a pattern I did as a custom make that was Hohi Locatelli's All the Lights cardigan. Super detailed. I actually have had custom orders since that video was put out of yarn for that specific project using the Peruvian Highland wool, and it is amazing. It is great for stitch definition. So I highly recommend it if you want to make some cute patterns, anything with fun texture patterns. There you go. This is the color. Every time I move closer, it gets blasted out. This is what the color looks like. This is chestnut. But anyway, highly, highly recommend that base, Peruvian Highland wool. So if you see any colors that you want on Peruvian Highland wool that are not currently on Peruvian Highland wool, and they're not limited run colorways, definitely reach out to me through email on the contact me portion of the website, and I will be more than happy to dye up a colorway for you on this base because I love it. I just love this base so much. So this is the main body, and then I'm going to, at some point, it's going to take a while because this is probably a third. Yeah, I say I'm probably about a third of the way knitting this body of the cardigan. So that's progress. That took me about a month. I think it's been about a month. So this cardigan might take me like if I keep up with that rate, it might take me about like three months or so to do. if I keep on the rate I've been doing, which sometimes I get greedy with a project and I just do that project and I don't do anything else. So who knows? It could be faster. And then I am going to knit with my Autumn Kiss colorway, which, oh my gosh, you guys. It's so fluffy right now because I balled it up like this, but look at it in the skein. Oh my gosh, I love it. So this is Autumn Kiss. It is basically, when I look at some of the trees in our area, they go through these stages of changing color, and that's what was inspired by this. So Autumn Kiss. So as the leaves start to change and they go into these different stages, they'll go into these reds, these like orangey reds, and then they start to get even darker and turn into this almost like burgundy color. And so that is what I captured in this, and that is what I'm going to use as the collar portion of Andrea's gorgeous cozy cardi. And it's so soft. This is on my Surrey alpaca base, which is super, super, super soft. And I'm really excited about using that, but I wanted to show you again a picture for those of you not familiar with Andrea's gorgeous pattern. The big cozy cardi. So this is my chestnut colorway, and then this one is going to be that gorgeous Surrey alpaca in Autumn Kiss. So it's going to be super cozy. It's going to be like wearing a blanket. I'm super excited about it. I will get there eventually, but it might be a couple more months. So you guys might be hearing me talk about it for a couple more months. Sorry, but that's what happens. I just love to work on so many projects. And you guys like to see all the fun colors anyway, so you don't mind if I keep talking about it, right? Okay, so that's my big cozy cardi, and yes, absolutely loving it. So if you're one of those people that might be intimidated by it because you think you're gonna get bored out of your mind, I don't know, I say give it a shot, because I thought I was gonna be bored out of my mind, and when I first started, I did feel like this would be one of those projects that lasts absolutely forever and it's never going to end. However, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's just I needed it in my life, but I am finding it to be extremely relaxing to work on and very rhythmic and wonderful. Similar to just plain stockinette, but not in the sense that I'm getting bored, because you are changing up your stitches. So I don't know. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So do recommend it. All right. The next one is my shawl that is from my Christmas present advent. That is Suburban Stitchers Advent. And I have them on my Chogu red lace needles here. Love these needles, by the way. And I have these cute little stoppers. I do not normally have needle stoppers, and this one was a necessity because these are, well, it's all superwash yarn, and these metal needles are super slippery, and I got scared. So these were on clearance at my local yarn store, so I purchased them, and they're cute. They're little tulips. They're so adorable. So those are just keeping my needles on here, but yes, again, I am mid-row. Sorry. I know. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is Telly B Knits pattern, and it's called What Tomorrow Brings, and it's a shawl. It's What Tomorrow Brings shawl, and she does have it for sale, so you can purchase it. You didn't have to purchase it through the Advent. I'm pretty sure you can buy it. It came with the Advent for Suburban Stitcher, but I'm pretty positive that you can buy this pattern if you would like, and it's a really fun pattern. As you can see, I've gotten a lot of progress done. I think I was at the tail end here. Let's see, where was I? Pretty positive this is where I was last week. And this is definitely going to get blasted out because it is the softest color. There you go. So I did this really cute, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a faux cable, I guess that's what she called it, like a faux cable little area. And then finished it up, and then I did this section of garter, this section of pattern, wonderful lace pattern, and this section of garter. So that's a lot of progress, because I've been working on this at night after we eat dinner. And yes, it is a triangle shawl. You cannot tell, but there's the point. This is upside down right now. There's a point. Okay, and maybe some of you can see the error that I made. Can you point it out? Do you see it? Do you know what it is? I'll tell you in a second because I don't like to torture people. All right. This is a triangle shawl. So it is going to be, you know, in a sense, it's like symmetrical. So, but, okay, the mistake I made is quite visible. These, it's a little hard to see, of course, because I don't have it all open, but these all are supposed to go at an angle. As you can see, this side is not. And what happened when I did the counting of the stitches, and I've done this before, I have, in many things I have done this before, but on this side, I counted the stitches, I had an extra stitch. I was pretty sure I had an extra stitch. It did count that I had an extra stitch, but I think that extra stitch was supposed to be there because I ended up stitching 2 stitches together to just try to fix it, and then it still ended up like this. So I probably should have left it alone, and it probably would have been correct. However, I think I can get away with it because if we look at this beautiful shawl, it's a little, again, hard to see at this point, but it's not exactly a symmetrical shawl. It's kind of symmetrical in the sense that every other little section is garter, but there's different types of texture pattern on all sides of that. So it's not like if you fold this in half, it's the same on each side. So I'm justifying my mistake by saying, even though it doesn't look exactly the same on either side, it kind of is fine because it's not the same on either side of the upper triangle, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. So there you go. I made a total mistake, and it's quite visible, but I think because this patterning is so varied at the top, it's gonna look like it's supposed to be that way, and I doubt anyone with this exact same shawl is gonna be standing by me at any point ever. So I think I can get away with it. I think it'll be fine. I honestly don't think anyone will notice. It's very rare that I wear shawls like, I call it like the old traditional way, where it's draped over my arms and with a dress or something. So it's usually wrapped around my neck. I like to wear it kind of like a scarf. So I don't think anyone's ever gonna really notice it, but you guys know, you know, so don't tell anybody. There you go. So I made a mistake, of course. Like many of us, no one is perfect, and I just find it kind of comical sometimes because I look at these things later on and I kind of laugh to myself because I know it's there. And, you know, you'll get comments from people that say, oh, I love that shawl, or I love that. And it's like, you know, they just appreciate it as the work of art that it is, you know, because it is. And it actually makes it more unique to you when you leave the little mistakes, right? There you go. I could justify this backwards and forwards, that I'm not going to rip back and fix that because this is a project where I like it the way it is. I don't want to fix that. I don't want to. Alright, so that is my What Tomorrow Brings shawl. And the next one I'm going to do is the brick sweater. The brick sweater is actually a sweater that I am reknitting, and I am using reclaimed wool. So I had knit the brick sweater. It was, I want to say, at least one size bigger than this. No, it's not one size. It was like 2 sizes bigger, honestly, because it was so big. So I knit it in a larger gauge, and I honestly think it was just too big, and it stretched a little bit when I wore it. So it grew. There you go. It grew. It didn't stretch. It grew. And it grew so much that it was way too big. So the pattern is the brick sweater, as I said, by Claire Lee. And there you have it. It's right there. So this gorgeous picture right here is not how it looked on me at all. So there's 2 ways of knitting this sweater. This is an excellent first sweater for beginner. Well, it is an excellent sweater for beginners. However, I do feel like she doesn't hold your hand a lot. And if you're never knit a sweater, it might be slightly confusing. Okay, take it back. This is not a good beginner sweater. It almost is a good beginner sweater. But the reason why I love this pattern is it shows you how to do this thing multiple ways. It tells you how to do the body doing it straight, which is how I initially did it. It also tells you how to do the sleeves straight with no tapering, which is originally how I did it, and my sleeves were massive. There's also one where she does waist shaping, which I guarantee this one is going to be a waist shaping one that she's wearing because it's nice and fitted. And then there's tapered arms, which this looks like it's tapered arms. So this time around, now that I ripped it back, I am going to, actually frogged it because it was a finished object. I am going to do the tapering of the sleeves, and I am doing the waist shaping. So if you like go back just a couple videos, you will see my prior brick sweater. This is the new one, and I am making it a little differently. So I reclaimed the wool, but I am not doing it exactly the same. So this time around, I've changed up a few things. One, I changed up the size of my needles. I can tell you what I'm using. So this is like, it's Reynolds, it's a vintage wool, so, but it's, I think it's the Lettlopi is what it's called. So it's like a medium, like a light medium weight. And I'm doing the size medium, and I'm doing it with a size 8 needle and a size 6 needle instead of what the pattern calls for. So I went down. So yeah, I kind of went down, and I also went down to a more fitted size sweater. So a size medium based off of the measurements is a 37 chest circumference, which should fit me like a glove. So I did try it on. My dog's trying to come through the door. I did try it on, and well, hi Rory. Are you coming to visit? You gonna be in the video? Rory came in to say hi. All right. Got so sidetracked. See, tangent, interruptions. Anyway, I'm knitting it the way I usually like to knit sweaters. So I knit it from the top down, which is the way it calls for. But I am also stopping. So I knit to a portion down the body. And instead of knitting all the way to the bottom, I stop once I finish one of the balls. And then I go to the arms. And I'm going to knit the arms down because I want the arms to be a certain length. And then I'll use every single ounce left over for the body. This is how I like to knit all of my sweaters. That way I use the most of the wool that I possibly can, so I don't have a lot left over. So you can see there's kind of this marled look to this, and your eyes are not deceiving you. This is marled. So I am using that Reynolds vintage wool, which is right here. It's a beautiful brown. It's kind of a heathered brown. It's really nice, definitely rustic. It's softer than Plutolopi, so it's definitely softer than that. And I don't think you can get Reynolds like Lettlopi, but you can get Lopi similar to this through Alifos is the website. That's where I usually get Plutolopi from, and that's directly from Iceland. So you kind of have to keep an eye on your shipping costs, but that's where I like to get it. A lot of times they have sales, so that's what this is. And then I'm holding it double with this wool, or this is not wool. I don't even know what this is. I got this as remnants from something, so I honestly don't know what it is. It's a combo of a lot of things. There's a little wool flecks in there. There's definitely like nylon, and I want to say maybe cotton. It's definitely a complete, I don't know, say menagerie. It's a mix. It's a mix of all kinds of fibers. So I'm holding that double with it just to add a little more strength and stability to hopefully not have it grow, because my guess is with these stitches being tighter, it's not going to grow like it did last time, but I think I'm a little sensitive to it because that took a lot of work, and then it grew so much I didn't wear it. So my hope is it will work better this time, but I can already tell that the stitches it's much better. So the raglan increases that I have going on here are much tighter than they were initially, so I feel like I've improved because I've been knitting longer now, so I think that has helped. I have now started working on the sleeves, and I put the body on hold. So this is where I was last week. So I continued to knit through the body. I've done some decreases because that's the waist shaping portion. And now, just picked up the sleeve stitches on the side, and I am working through that. I'll work on this side, and I'm going to use this it's a heavier weight Lopi. I'm going to use this on the cuffs and collar. So I hope I have enough wool. I feel like I should, because the last one I made definitely was more than enough in that sweater, but it was very big. So my hope is now that I'm making it smaller, I will of course have enough wool. So it should not be an issue. So I'm working through that, and I tried this on, and I'm going to be good about trying it on throughout the process to make sure. So once I get to a certain point with the sleeve, I'm going to put these stitches on hold and try it on, because I want to make sure it's going to fit me really well, because if I'm going to knit this once, not a big deal. Knitting it twice, I really want to make sure I'm going to wear it. So, but so far I tried on this portion and it fit amazing. It fits so good. So I'm very excited about this. Again, that's the Brick Sweater by Claire Lee, and that can be found on Ravelry. And yeah, it's a very nice, lots of stockinette, wonderful, blissful knitting, so do recommend that. Just check your gauge. Make sure you check your gauge, because that's where I went wrong. I didn't check my gauge right, so I'm bad about that sometimes. So I actually did knit on my socks. Very little, but I did knit on them. My hope is to knit on them a bit more tomorrow so I can get more progress, because I was pretty bad about it. So these are the Male Classic socks. I really like it. They're by Fox and Fick is the company. And the pattern is, it comes with two. It comes with the shorties and the Male Classic. I've made 2 Male shorties. I am now working on the Male Classic. I am finding the Male Classic to be a little bit more challenging. It's not hard. It's just, it takes a lot more focus than the Male shorties, because the Male shorties, it was a very different knit. I thought they would be extremely similar, and they're actually quite different. There's similarity to part of it. So this is using my Oh Christmas Tree sock set, which I love. And I do still have some in the shop. They're behind me here. And I am really enjoying it. So this is my bark colorway. That is the contrasting color. And then this is Oh Christmas Tree, which is a beautiful variegated with speckling. It's so fun, and these will be fun to wear during the holidays next year as well. I wear my socks all year round, but these would be extra special to wear. But as you can see, there's all kinds of patterning. There's a lot of variegation here, so it's a little tricky to see, but there is a kind of a, I'll call it like a braiding going on here. And then there's all kinds of slip stitches going on down the back of the leg and down the heel. And then there's even a little detail on the base of the sock. So as you can see, there is a lot going on with this pattern. And I like it. I really like it, but I think, as I said, I'm really enjoying the Big Cozy Cardi because it's quite relaxing and rhythmic, and I don't have to think about it that much. I just look at the pattern. There's 4 different rows of repeat that you just keep an eye on where you're at, and that's it. It's not complicated. This has a lot of rows to keep track of, because not only are you keeping track of the upper portion of the sock, but when you're doing the foot, you're also keeping track of the bottom portion of the sock. And it just takes a little bit more focus than I sometimes want. So my goal is to work on this. I'm gonna say my goal because I don't want to overpromise. My goal is to work on this more tomorrow, because I really do need to work on it, because I do want to work on them, but I just have been having a hard time working on them because they are very intricate. There's quite a bit going on here. They're fun, but I feel like you have to be in the right mindset to truly enjoy working on these. Where that's with the Mile shorties, oh my goodness, I could not put them down. I would knit on them on my lunch break, and I usually set my alarm on my phone so that I don't have to look at my clock. I can just do what I do, unwind, relax, and then my phone, the alarm will go off, and it would go off, and I would like jump out of my skin because I was so focused on knitting on the Male shorties. So I loved that pattern. And there's a contrast. So actually, the Male Classic, I don't want to give away too much. This is a paid for pattern, but as you can see, it is a solid. So she knits them as a solid. The way I'm doing it, because I have the contrasting color, I'm doing a contrasting cuff. I forgot to do the contrasting heels, so no big deal. I'm just doing the contrasting cuff, and then I'll do a contrasting toe. And yeah, there should be more than enough contrasting color to do that. So I'm excited. And it does look like there'll be enough stretch and everything. on the top here, so this should be good. I always struggle with that. Does anybody else, if you want to comment below, let me know. Do you struggle when you make socks, like if you make them too tight that it's hard to get over your foot? I don't know if it's because of my arch, but sometimes it's like it's too tight. I get it on my leg, I'm fine, but like trying to get it over my my foot can be such a struggle. I don't know. Maybe this is only my problem, but yeah, it's an issue. Anyway, yeah, but this, oh yeah, this I should tell you is on my BFL nylon base. It's Superwash BFL and super soft and squishy, so squishy. And this is, again, that Christmas tree colorway, caked up, just so you can see it in a different form. But this is what it looks like knit up in this pattern. And I think that's all of works in progress. Yeah, I think that's everything for this week. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should show you guys this mini that I did. So if anyone's interested in spinning at all, this kind of will be in your wheelhouse. Haha, spinning wheel humor. I have a couple fleeces that I purchased probably about a year ago now. It's just crazy how time flies. But one of them is a Shetland fleece, and I wanted to try it out to see how it would feel, how it would work, and oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so excited to work with it. So I just did a basic little sampling. I didn't even weigh out the wool. I just kind of looked at it and said, okay, this looks like it's about what I need to do a super small mini sample of it. I did a 3-ply, and with my wheel, I have a, if you're not familiar with spinning wheels, just so you know, I have a Ladybug, Shock Ladybug spinning wheel, which I do recommend. It's so much fun. But it was a learning curve. It took a little bit to get used to it, and I still have my days where I break it constantly, and I'm like, what is going on? And by break it, I mean when I'm spinning, not the machine. But here we go. So this is the little bitty skein I made. I am still learning. I am so still learning, but so don't judge me harshly. Everything's gonna be not consistent, but this is a 3-ply that I made. And again, this is Shetland wool, and it's super soft. It is a black fleece. That is what it is considered. It looks like dark chocolatey brown, but it's actually a black fleece. That's how they look. And as the Shetland sheep get older, they tend to become more brown looking, I guess. That's what I've been reading. So that's why, especially being out in the sun, they get those bleached tips. And again, that looks more brown versus black. But this was actually a black fleece though. And the sheep's name is Black Dahlia, which is so cute. It's very, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. She's a black sheep, so that's cute. I just love that. So anyway, yes, this is that little sampling. So it is super squishy soft. I wore it around my wrist for a little bit as like a bracelet just to see if it would tickle. Granted, my wrists are not my most sensitive part. Wearing it as a necklace would definitely be better, but I can put this up against my neck and it does not prickle factor at all. It's very soft. So I'm pretty stoked because it was a really big fleece. It's a huge fleece. So I want to make, definitely thinking of a cardigan. I think this would make a really pretty cardigan and it would be a really nice weight. I definitely think this is on the worsted weight spectrum end of things. I haven't done like a wraps per inch or whatnot, but I want to say by looking at it, it looks like it is a worsted weight. But there you have it. So yes, my little adventures in spinning. As prior viewers know, I am definitely a very much a beginner, and I have only spun up one fleece, but I feel like that's a huge feat, actually completing one fleece. I purchased a raw fleece, I processed it, so I washed it, carded it, spun it, washed that, and let it dry, and then skeined it up, and that was my Cotswold fleece. So I do want to make a coat with that. I did talk about that in a prior video, so check out my prior video. And I hope you guys are doing well. What are you up to? What are you working on? Please share in the comments below. I always love to hear from you guys, and I hope you're staying happy, healthy, and creating, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.